And we are back at the White House, and here's part two of my exclusive interview with President Trump and Elon Musk. Take a look. This is the $1 million or $1 billion among billionaires question. So you have all of this going on, and you stop, in a way. You're still doing it, and you partner with him. And this is what you get from the Democrats. You get, nobody voted for Elon. Well, nobody voted for any of your cabinet nominees. Okay. People are dying because of Doge cuts. I'll give you a chance to respond to it. What Doge is doing is illegal. Elon Musk is more street vernacular for a male body part. That's a constitutional crisis.
Okay. Why are they reacting like this?
Well, I'm not. First of all, do you give a flying rip, number one? And
well, I guess we must be over the target of doing something right. You know, if like they wouldn't be complaining so much if we weren't doing something useful. I think. But what all we're really trying to do here is restore the will of the people, the president. And what we're finding is that there's an unelected bureaucracy. Speaking of unelected, there's a vast federal bureaucracy that is implacably opposed to the president and the cabinet. And if you look at, say, DC voting, it's 92% Kamala. Okay, so we're in 92% Kamala. That's a lot.
They don't like me here either.
I think about that number a lot. I mean, like 92%. That's basically almost everyone.
Yeah.
And so, but how can you? If the will of the president is not implemented, and the president is representative of the people, that means the will of the people is not being implemented. And that means we don't live in a democracy, we live in a bureaucracy. And so I think what we're seeing here is the thrashing of the bureaucracy as we try to restore democracy and the will of the people. Is this making sense? I mean,
no, of course it does. I mean, to me, if you look at our framers and our founders, and you really become a student of history, Mr. President, and we've had conversations both on air and off air. And if we talk about constitutional order or transformational change, nobody can argue that what's happening here is going at the speed of light. But however, what were the principles of our framers and our founders? They wanted limited government, greater freedom for the people. And we'll get to the specific cutting of waste, fraud, and abuse. That is your goal, is it not?
Yeah, and my goal is to get great people. And when you look at what this man has done, it was something, I knew him a little bit through the White House. Originally, I'd see him around a little bit. I didn't know him before that. And I respected what he did, and he fought hard. You know, he was maybe questioned for a while. He was having some difficulties. It was not easy doing what he did. I mean, how many people have started a car company and made it really successful and made a better car where it's, beating these big companies that's all they do is cars? I mean, it's really amazing the things he's done, but I didn't know it as much then as now. I mean, the fruits have sort of taken hold, but I wanted great people. And he's a great person. He's an amazing person. He's also a caring person. You know, he uses the word care. So they sign a contract in a government agency, and it has 3 months, and the guy leaves that signed the contract, and nobody else is there, and they pay the contract for 10 years.
Yeah.
So the guy is getting checks for years and years and years, and he's telling his family, obviously, maybe it was crooked, maybe he paid to get the contract, or maybe he paid that they didn't terminate it. But, we have contracts that go forever, and they've been going for years, and they're supposed to end in 3 months or 5 months or 2 years or something, and they go forever. So the guy is either crooked, where he knew this was going to happen, or he's crooked because he's getting payments that he knows he shouldn't be getting. But they're finding things like that. They're finding things far worse than that. And they're finding billions, and it will be hundreds of billions of dollars worth of fraud. I say waste and abuse, but fraud, waste, and abuse. And he's doing an amazing job. And he attracts a young, very smart type of person. I call them high IQ individuals, and they are. They're very high IQ. And when they go in to see the people and talk to these people, the people think they're going to pull it over. They don't. These guys are smart, and they love the country. There's a certain something. But he uses the word care. So people have to care. Like When I bought Air Force One, I negotiated the price. It was 5.7 billion, and I got them down to 1.7 billion. Now they're not building the plane fast enough. I mean, they're actually in default. Boeing, they're supposed to have been building this thing forever. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
We don't build the way we used to build. You know, we used to build like a ship a day, and now to build a ship is like a big deal. And we're going to get this country back on track. We can do it, but so many things, it takes so long to get things built and get things done. And a lot of it could be something we've been discussing. The regulators go in and they make it impossible to build. They make it very difficult to build anything, whether it's a ship, a plane, or a building, or anything. And some of them do it because they want to show how important they are. Some of them do it maybe because they think they're right. They use the environment to stop progress and to stop things. It's always the environment. It's an environmental problem. It's not an environmental problem at all. But they do a lot of things. And by the way, speaking of that, Lee Zeldin is going to be fantastic in the position, so forth. He could take 10 years to approve or disapprove something, or he could do it in a month. You know, just as good. And I think you're going to see a fantastic job done by him. He's a tremendous guy.
You echoed something when I just met you, and it was very similar to what New's been saying, that he brought this country to the dance. This is the opportunity to be transformational, and to have, I would argue, the most consequential presidency. If we really dig down and do something that has never been done before, and that is get rid of this bureaucracy. I'm going to get to the specifics. You say the same thing. It's not done yet. And what do you mean by that?
I mean, winning the election is really the opportunity to fix the system. It is not fixing the system itself. So it's an opportunity to fix the system and to restore the power of democracy. And people it's funny how often when these attacks occur, the thing that they're accusing the administration of is what they are guilty of. They're saying that things are being done unconstitutional, but what they are doing is unconstitutional. They are guilty of the crime of which they accuse us.
That's always the first thing they do. It's in violation of the Constitution. They don't even know what they're talking about. Well, it's just a con job. It's a big con job. And they're so bad for the country. It's so dangerous and so bad. And the media is so bad. When I watch MSNBC, which I don't watch much, but you have to watch the enemy on occasion, the level of arrogance and cheating, and they're just horrible people. These are horrible people. They tell lies, and they start off with the Constitution. They couldn't care less about the Constitution. CNN, likewise. I mean, I watch them asking questions with, the hatred with them. Well, I said, why are you asking the question with such anger? You're asking me a normal question, but you see the bias. The bias is so incredible. And those two are bad. PBS is bad. AP is bad. CBS